So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell y'all the truth, or not the truth. I don't know, but the story I was told about my conception. So when I was around 10 years old, I'll just say that, I was living with my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather, and I was over their house and I was saying, hey, excuse me. I was saying, hey, like, my grandmother's Native American, my stepdad's mom is Native American, Maharan tribe. And I'm like, oh, my stepdad's Native American. I already had questions about my stepdad being my dad, but, I took my mom's word for it. Like, oh, yeah, that's my dad. But I had questions because my hair texture, 4C. Okay, all around here, 4C. In the middle, it's a looser curl. I can't even pinpoint exactly what it is in the middle. But the edges, 4C. My brothers, who are my stepdad's children, curly hair. Curly hair. They basically look Dominican because they look mixed. I had these questions as a kid. My stepdad's name wasn't on my birth certificate, so I was just like, I don't know. But when I said it that day that my grandmother was Native American and all this stuff, my hair was supposed to be long or something goofy because they were putting stuff in my head. My mom's mom wound up telling me no. Nah. Like, it came out. I don't think she meant to say it like that. I think it just came out. Part of it because of jealousy, me claiming somebody else my grandmother. But another part of it, I think it really just was blurted out. So I started asking my grandmother in that moment, like, who's my dad? Then, because that means my dad ain't my daddy. Hello, this is devastating for me at 10 years old. Like, hello, who is my daddy? My grandma's like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, 10 years old, trying to go to bed. I'm bawling my eyes out because who I thought was my daddy ain't my dad. So my mom comes over. She's doing my hair. I'm sitting between her legs. You know how I go. And she's like, so I've been hearing that you've had questions about, your birth father. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, he's not your dad. I'm like, figure that out, sis. And she's like, well, do you want to know what happened to me? I'm like, ain't that why we here? Like, yes, I want to know. Like, yes. Okay, yes, mama. And so she's like, someone, forced themselves. She didn't say rape. She said someone forced themselves on her, and he killed himself. So she made the other guy that she was, dating at the time, that could possibly have been my father around the time that I was conceived, she made him my godfather. So that I wouldn't be mad at her about not having him in my life. Which, to a certain degree, I understood. But another degree, I was like, why didn't you just get the test done? But I can understand, it's a sensitive situation. Maybe she wasn't ready to deal with it. Like, there were still signs that she was still tripping about it because me and my mom did not have a good relationship. Do not have a good relationship, should I say. And it was just a lot. So I just don't know exactly how much of that is the truth, because so much has happened since then. They literally like gave me my stepdad's last name. My mom blamed it on my stepdad, said my stepdad went ahead and did it, but my stepdad has no authority to just put his name on my birth certificate. That's very goofy. So his name is on my birth certificate, and recently, I have been spending a lot of time with my godfather, and kind of hoping that he would be my dad, so it would just kind of be the end of it, even though our relationship hasn't been great either. He wasn't really around like that. My stepdad, like, kept him from being around, gave me his last name, kept him from being around, always had beef with him, and I just felt like my godfather didn't fight hard enough. If he really thought I was his child, like, he didn't fight hard enough, because he had no idea the hell that I went through in that home. And it's a lot. It's a lot. I just want to say that. So, kept myself, me and my godfather has been spending a lot of time together lately. I'm thinking that the relationship could have been a little bit better. I had cut my mother off and my stepdad off for my own sanity and trying to keep myself together, because they were doing a lot of crazy things, which we can talk about later. But one of my main goals is to make sure, that he was my father, because I wound up telling my therapist, it's like, I am tired of calling people who are not my dad. I was forced to call my stepdad dad. He was there, but it was not a good relationship. Not a good relationship with my mom, so it was just a really rough situation. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so with me and my godfather getting close, I'm like, hey, this man is on my birth certificate. I really want to get him off, and in order to get him off my birth certificate, I gotta have a paternity test to prove. Like, it's really hard to get someone's name as their parent off your birth certificate without proving paternity. Why the fuck would my mom go along with this? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand why she would do that. It also ruined to an extent, I get it. Okay, you trying to make it one big happy family, cool. But at the end of the day, it's not. I'm still questioning who I am my entire life. Y'all don't want to talk about it. Every time I bring it up, it's always a thing. So I had a lot of resentment and a lot of anger as a young child. Like, it was bad. So, I have been begging to get this test for years. For about probably like 10 to 15 years now. For as long as I've known. Sorry. I'm 27 years old. So just imagine how many times I've asked for it. My mom has spazzed out. My godfather would say that he would do it, and he didn't. His loyalty lies with my mother. I have never been the center of this situation at all. My feelings have been invalidated. I've been constantly and consistently gaslighted, and all the way up until today. Probably will still continue. It has been hell trying to figure out who my biological father is. Hell. So, I wound up getting close enough to my godfather and told him, like, hey, I can't take this man's name off my birth certificate. I'm trying to get closer to you. I really genuinely hoped and prayed that he was my father. Even though I felt like I don't look nothing like that man, But it was like, okay, I kind of look like his sister, but I really think it was really because she was light-skinned that everybody was just like, oh, okay, you look like his sister and his mom. But I didn't see anything like it. I'm like, okay, well, maybe my nose is a combination of my mom's nose and his nose, So I'm trying to, like, juke it out in my head, trying to, like, make myself think, okay, this is my father. And we just getting a test to prove to the courts that, this man is my daddy.